All right, we are going to start with this pile here. These are some of the things that me and my dad found in. Most of this is going to be Salt Lake. There are some in Nevada, kind of mixed in between the thing. But there's just, it's an array of items from, I'd say, the 30s, possibly into the 50s. Down into the 1800s. But anyway, let's start with a few items, why don't we? And kind of look at them. You've got this bottle right here. This bottle would have been some pills, and this one definitely would have been 1800s because it has the cork, and you can see how crude it is. You can see some bubbles in the actual bottle. But this would have been a medicine bottle right here that we found. You're going to see a lot of these right here. These are stoppers that went into beers or any type of drink back then, because they didn't have crown tops, they didn't have screw tops. They had these that would go into the bottle, and you would have around the edge. In fact, here's one to show you. They usually had like a cork that would go around the edge of the thing, and you would be able to take the stopper and put it in there, and it basically, just as it says, as a stopper, it stopped the liquid from coming out, because they didn't have screw tops or anything like that back in the 1800s. So they relied on these, and they were hand blown. You can see where they were cut off right here. The glass was actually cut off. I'm sure they're blown or put into a form, but yeah, they were all handmade. All these little stopper things, you'll see them. And some of them actually have the name of the place that, or the item that the stuff was in the bottle. Check out that one. That was a pretty big one. All right. There's a clear one. Look at all the different ones, all the different colors. I used to love to run around as a kid and finding those and taking them home with us. Let's go weed through and see if we can find all of those. There's one there. There's another clear one. Let's see if we can weed them all out. Yeah. There's another one right there. Another one. We'll talk about that one in a second. All right, I think we've weeded most of the little stoppers out. But there are stoppers that actually have the company name on them. This one is Lea & Perrins. This is like a little steak sauce. And there's two of them right here that I've got that have the Lea & Perrins. Used to find a whole bunch of these Lea & Perrins bottles. They weren't exactly the things that we were after, because you could find them so plentiful. But yeah, back in the day when they were, I guess, hunting for food, or they had food, it was very gamey. So they had to put a bunch of sauces and things on it to try to get the taste of the bad taste of the meat, so you wouldn't taste it so much. And Lea & Perrins was one of them. But yeah, Lea & Perrins is still around today. All right, let's move on. Oh, here you've got somebody's glasses, their little lens. Check how big that lens is. I think I have one here that's a smaller lens, so you can kind of see the difference in sizing. Oh, here it is right here. Check out those little specks. Whoa. These are like almost like John Lennon style glasses. So somebody seemed to be wanted to be fashionable and have a bigger round circle glass, and then someone wanted to have the thin line, the studious kind or the flamboyant kind. Yeah, those are somebody's lenses for the glasses. Imagine whoever that is that was looking through those glasses, checking out the horse-drawn carriages, watching probably had the telegraph, all that stuff was happening at that time when they had these glasses. This one's actually this is a pretty thin one. But this one here is actually a pretty good prescription. Whoever had these actually really needed those. But yeah, it'd be interesting to know who that was and what he did in his life. But yeah, we still have his glass thing right here. Okay, let's move on. All right, let's talk about this thing here. We've got what is some cosmetics. And this is from, let's see what it's from. It's from Berlin. So this would have been shipped over here. And you know what? You can actually see still in there some of the makeup that this lady had. Yeah, she was quite high class. She's getting her stuff from Berlin, being sent over here. FL, was it Harish? I can't even read that. Harnish. Anyway, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Has the makeup still in there. This would have been probably turn of the century, I bet you. Then check out this big old key, the skeleton key that we found. That was a pretty cool day when we found that one. Moving on, we've got a nondescript little padlock. Somebody trying to keep their stuff safe from thieves and robbers back then. Looked like somebody got lost the key and just ripped it open. So much for their trying to keep their stuff safe. Then you got right here, this is Atlas, like a food jar seal. Right here, they would have had like a little seal that went around the edge here. But yeah, these were for fruits and foods back then. This wasn't like the full-on mason jars that you see. This is more of a smaller one. But yeah, cool nonetheless. Let's see what else we got here. We've got a door. Basically, it's a skeleton key door cover to a house. Look like they went for the castle motif. Must have been fancy on that house, wherever house that was. And guess what? You've got the skeleton key right here, but it's missing the top end. Let's see if it fits. Why, it does. Perfect fit. Who knows, this key might have been to this house. And open it up and go on in. Imagine that. They're getting to the age where they're having to lock things up. Back then, you know, you could actually be tried and actually hung probably for stealing stuff. Not like today, you can just take whatever you want. Now here's another little keyhole thing. It goes on the door. In fact, there's another one too, here, look. Look like a smaller key and a bigger key. All right, moving on. Let's see what we got here. Got a lid. What is this lid to? Mentholatum. That's got to be like 40s. Man. You know, you get up in the newer age, and I'm not really that fond of all that stuff. Let's see what we got here. The Real Thing, soft as velvet. Was it price? One something. Can't see the rest of it. I bet you that was like probably a milk little lid thing. Probably, I'd imagine the 40s. That seems kind of high. $1, man. Maybe it's only 1 cent. Maybe that's it. Because I'm like going, I don't know, maybe it was still $1. But yeah, that seems a little high. But yeah, that's pretty cool. All right, let's move on. What do we got here? Oh, look, this looks like almost like a little scout pin. A little fleur-de-lis type thing. Looked like it was a pin, actually. Look, right there. That little thing would have fit right onto your lapel. So somebody was wearing that, whether they were in the Scouts or whether that was just a fancy little thing that they put on their lapel to go out at night. But yeah, that's quite a nice little item there. Like I say, a lot of this stuff, actually my dad metal detected, because he was in metal detecting for a while before, well, when he was bottle digging too. He did both of them. But a lot of the stuff that we'd find up in Salt Lake, but some of this is mixed in, is actually from ghost towns. Like these things would have been ghost towns. These are little suspender parts. And some of them you can look on them and you can actually see patent dates on them if you look really hard. If you stay still and you look, you might be able to read stuff on them. And who knows, maybe some of them are Levi's. Unless you read them, you would not know. Got a file. Oh, these things, you're going to see a bunch of these things. These are these are pegs that they put in telephone posts back in the day. I'm guessing these are the posts or whatever, the number of the posts, so they know what to work on, which line it was. Could have been telegraphed, some of these. But I've got a bunch of different ones that are in here. Some are more crude, like this is an older one. But yeah, I used to put these in telephone lines back in the day. See if there's any more of those. We'll get those out of the way. Yeah, there's another one. 35. One over here. 28. Any more? Any more? Yep, there's one over here. 41. I liked as a kid going around and trying to find those things. What's this one? 0. 0. Any more? Any more? I think there might be one here. Yep, 54. Smaller one. 54. All right. Let's continue. Oh, here's one here. A 30. Okay, do we got them all? Used to find quite a few of them over time. That's nothing. That might have been actually what is it? One of those that had the little candlestick on it. Oh, check out this little gun here. Probably from the early turn of century. Look like a star on there. Some little kid playing cowboys and Indians. It's all rusted up pretty good. But yeah, how fun is that? They probably had all kinds of fun running around in the hills with this little gun and playing around. And forever, look, it's forever cocked in the go position. All right. Oh, you got some handles to some type of bucket they would hold on to and pull. Possibly this thing here could have been part of that bucket. This is the side little pail. Whether this pail was for drinks, yeah, they'd put a little bucket and had the drinks in it, or this was a pail that had ashes that they used to clean out their fireplace with. But yeah, pretty cool. Little lion head. No wonder why we kept it. We like I say, I used to keep odds and ends of just weird stuff just because I thought it was cool because the history that it told. Check out this little battery thing. Exide battery. Let's see if we got the electric. The Philadelphia, looks like. So this must have been on a battery. One of the older batteries from the turn of the century when they were starting to get into the batteries. Yeah, pretty cool. Some more of the suspenders. See if we see any writing on them. As we go. I don't see any writing on that one. All right, let's see if let's look at all the suspender pieces while we're at it. Here's a fancier one. Check out that one with the little finials on it. Somebody been out there in town being all fancy, walking around. Back when they didn't have belts, most people wore suspenders. Belts really didn't come into full thing till like the turn of the century, and after that, most people wore suspenders. But yeah, pretty cool. Let's look at the other ones. We'll get our suspenders thing taken care of. Look at that one. It's got Greek keys all over it. Interesting. Another one. This one actually has a patent what is it? Patent end? Huh. Interesting. What else? Oh, here's a cowboy one. Check out that. Has like a little stirrup. That was probably someone that worked down on a ranch. Said, I want the stirrup one. Fancy. That's newer. Oh, here's another one. This one actually has some fabric still in it. Some of the whatever that was holding up is still stuck in it. Oh, here's another one. Another suspender piece. You see any writing? Oh, there is some writing on it. C and C, it looks like. C and C. It might have some other writing, smaller writing down there. I don't know. Oh, there's something on the back. What does it say? 1867. Oh, that's pretty old. Huh, cool. Yep, if you look at some of these things, you can actually find like information on them. You might be able to look it up. Okay, let me talk about this thing. This thing would have been on a neck, well, on the shoulder of a bottle. And anyway, they used to sit there and they'd do a glob of glass from the little factory, and then they'd press this into it so that you'd have a thing. Hey, look, Paul Jones. I know Paul Jones. Excuse me. Whiskey, St. Louis, Kentucky. Yeah, that was on the neck, the shoulder of a big whiskey bottle that was just a glob of glass that they pressed their little seal onto. But it's kind of cool to have this little piece because you can read, you can see all the information with even not having the bottle. All right, let's look through. Oh, you got your spoons. Daily wear that these people would have been sitting at their table, having their breakfast, their dinner, talking about their day in the mine or wherever they might have been on the railroad. But yeah, a lot of stories. Whose mouths have that been into? Was it famous people? You don't know. Just been anybody. But yeah, those people are long gone. This one looks actually, if you look at it, was silver. Had, it's just plated silver, but that one's a little bit fancier than this one here. This one's just a regular old metal spoon, whereas this one has a little bit of silver coating on it, but it's slowly all kind of dissolved off of it. They're fine wear. Let's see what else we got here. These ones, let's talk about these. Let's get rid of that. You already know, stopper. These here, let me tell you a little story about these. Found most of these were up on the railroad line up there in Promontory Point. When they punched through the railroad that went from the west to the east, or east to the west, a lot of the railroad was built by Chinese and also Irish. And they were kind of not persecuted, but they were pretty much thought as a lower class for some reason. Back then, there was a lot of prejudice But anyway, they were the ones that built the railroad that went through there. But anyway, in these camps, however, there was, especially in the Chinese camps, they had opium. And these are opium bottles. So in this would have been some high grade, some pretty powerful stuff. And you see, there's not very much of it, you know. Didn't take much. But yeah, you can find these bottles. But I always thought they were kind of cool because of the shape of them. And look how thick a glass they are. And how have the bubbles in them and stuff like that. Yeah, one of the little railroad workers was tripping out with these little opium things. All right, moving on. You got these right here. This is your lighting for your house, because you have to. Back in the day, you had to have oil lamps. So that would have been how it sat, that thing on there. I'm sure these are not for those. This one didn't go with that, but you can see they're interchangeable. That have their little wick, and then to have the thing to be able to make the wick get longer or shorter, so you can turn it out, or start it up. You can turn it out too. But yeah, that'd have been on a glass, basically a glass base right here, and that would have been there, and then had a little flute, little glass that would be over the top. All right, moving on. Oh, look, we have a little baby doll. Baby doll that is all dirty now. Look at that. Look like it's missing its thumb too. Some little kid was so excited Christmas morning to see this baby doll. And now look at it. All the rest of it, who knows where it's at. All right, let's continue on. What do we got here? Oh, here. Here's a lady's brooch. Look at that. How nice that was. Imagine this lady back in Victorian times walking out with her big bonnet and all of her nice dress with the corset and all that stuff. She'd have been a high class lady going out on the town. Fancy. Where is she now? She's sure not alive, that's for sure. And what kind of lady she was, and what did she accomplish? And where's her family today? Wouldn't that be crazy if you knew where the family, the descendants were, and that you'd say, I've got your great-great-grandma's little brooch. Yeah, that's cool. All right, well, our time's getting 23 into it. We're going to probably wrap it up in a second, and then we'll continue another one, because I don't want to drag these on too long. Check out this one here. This looks like it's from over there in Germany, and they came over this way. Not exactly sure what the heck this thing was. Something had like a little spout thing, but what would you use it for? I don't know. It's pretty. Look at the little flower pattern on it. All right, we'll look at a couple more things, then we're gonna have to wrap it up for tonight, and I'll get something going tomorrow. Oh, look at this little Cupid doll with the little Dutch hair. Would this been a baby's little toy, little girl's little toy to play around with, baby doll? Or would it have been a statue sitting in the window that you could have imagined, because they were all from, a lot of the people that go to America were obviously from different types of the parts of the world, from Dutch. Anyway, maybe they just wanted to have a little bit of where they came from. But yeah, look at that with the little blue eyes, rosy cheeks, Dutch hat with Dutch haircut. All right, let's see. What else can we look at before we wrap it up? Oh, this one here. Let's look at this one. Maybe this will be our last one for tonight. Check out this beehive. Wonder what state this is from. This is probably, look, I had a little stone at one time in it. I wonder if it was like a precious stone or not. But usually these had like pieces of fabric that would come down like little streamers, and they'd maybe have some words on it like Independence Day or, you know, State. Anyway, Pioneer Day. But this was definitely from Utah, from like a little commemorative type thing that would have been sitting on somebody's shirt or whatever, that had the little fabric things coming down from it. All right, maybe one more. I'll give you one more. Let's talk about this one here. See, I was telling you about these other ones. Where are those other ones? Right here, these stoppers. These are the older ones, the glass ones. But then they started getting into vulcanized rubber, type hard rubber. And this is one. They started doing little, sticking these in bottle tops. But these are later on. These are after the turn of the century. But check out this one here. Where is it from? You could probably read it. Something Thal and Company. Huh, cool. Cool. It'd be fun to look up some of those little names. All right, I'm gonna do one more. Let's do this one here. I've seen this one. This is not a super old one. This one must have been one my dad dug up when he was metal detecting. It's a dog tag. Manhattan 132, expires June 30th, 1968. Guess what? That's 1 year after I was born. So it isn't super old, unless you consider my age old, which I find quite offensive. All right, I think we'll wrap it up tonight. We got many more. We got so much in this other box, however. But yeah, we'll just do it in sections. You know, kind of fun to go through these. A lot of this stuff I haven't seen since I was probably, well, I was just teeny. Well, not teeny, but probably about like 15, 16, because we just boxed it up and it just kind of went away. Anyway, all right, thanks for joining me tonight. We'll continue on probably tomorrow night.